and you may have some getting ready for math tests, or you may have some at the beginning of next year. The first thing I want to talk about is attitude. If your children are apparently unable to learn, we should assume that we have not as yet found the right way to teach them. So just because you haven't found the way to teach a kid doesn't mean that they can't learn. It means that we need to change something about what we're doing to help them out. Alright, so what we're going to focus on today is primary grades, some things that they focus on, and a lot of this comes from the reading recovery training, and you might can throw in some things too. So book handling skills, letter skills, word skills, fluency writing, and in-text, some things that you can do. First thing we're going to touch on is book handling.
This is neat. Sorry, what is this?
This is an e-maze, and it's free for 4 times, but after you use it, you can delete it and create more, and there's all kind of templates and things. So some things to look for whenever your kids get to you, especially if they're struggling, is can they locate the front and back of a book? You'd be surprised how many can't. Do they know that the message comes from the words, or are they just looking at the pictures and trying to make meaning from those pictures? Do they know where to start reading? Do they know to start over here and then you go this way, or do they try to go backwards? Do they know that you go down after you get to the end of the line, return sweet? Can they track 1 to 1? That means can they read it and point to it while they're reading it? Do they know to read the left page before the right? Do they know the meaning of punctuation marks? And there are some more, and there is a printable on a website that I made for you guys. So you'll be able to look at it and go back and print and check.
This is superhero like, huh?
That's why I like it. I'm like, ooh, Batman.
And then at the beginning of the year, if you find that you have several behaviors that are the same, maybe you could find a way to group those kids together. Think about, can you use text to help practice those in a group and get them straightened out right away before some other problems happen. Alright, letter skills. Do you guys do letter work with low readers in your room already? Okay. These are actual reading recovery things. So you have a copy of this inside your folder also. This is capital and lowercase letters that you can test them on. It's important that they know all of them and that they are able to identify them quickly. So if you start and you're like, oh, this kid is struggling, maybe they don't know their letters, maybe they can't identify them quickly in text, be able to identify words quickly as well. Alright, ways you can practice letters. You can sort them, matching, writing, and inside of the book as well. Alright, sorting letters. You can find letters that look like this. So if you make an array of different letters that they know, you can have them sort, hey, I know these all look alike, these all look alike, these all look alike. And as they get better, maybe you might say, hey, they know M's, let's see if they can pull all the M's out and say them. This is M, N, any other letters that you have up there. And the key is to get them so that they can do it fast. So they recognize the letter, they can do it fast, they can recognize it in text as well. And then after they can do that, you can increase the difficulty. So like if they have confusions, like BD confusions, even I've seen that this year. So you can get the confusions up there. Hey, what is this? B, D, B, D, B, D. Get them so they can do it fast. And even making letters the same color can trip kids up too. So like if you have B's that are all different colors and D's that are all different colors, it may be easier than if they're all blue and they have to sort them that way. You can teach them new letters with an array. If they are really struggling, I can help you with an alphabet book if you need help. Alright, in writing, there is a verbal path inside of your packet, and it's also inside of your prompting guide. And this is something that they use during reading recovery also. So basically, if you are getting ready to learn this letter, maybe you want to have them on their practice page write this letter using that verbal path. So if you look at A, it tells them what they should be saying while they're writing it. Pull back, around, and down. So just having them use the words while they're doing it can help them as well. You can do matching uppercase and lowercase. The confusions comes up again. And then you can start with maybe like one letter within a group of, so one B in a group of D's, and then switch to maybe like 5 B's and 5 D's to make it more harder. And then within the text, if you're reading a book, you can at the end go back and say, hey, can you show me a B on this page? And have them find the B and show you the B. Can you show me a D? Show me a D. Alright, so we're just gonna look at some letters real quick. These are different arrays. And all I want you to do is decide which one you think would be most difficult. So like, do you think C would come first? Would B come first? A, D? Which one you think would be the easiest and which would be the hardest?
I think C would be the easiest.
I think D would be the hardest. Yeah, I thought D would be the hardest.
Okay, why do you say that D would be the hardest?
Just because I have one student who mixes up all those letters all the time, and she writes them in the air. She's like, do I do this or do I do this? And then, as you said with the colors, like that could be confusing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go C, A, B, D, from easiest to hard.
Okay. But then you have to think about here, you have capital and lowercase in there too that they would have to put together. Do you see how it can get difficult for kids as well?
Mhm.
As we sit here and think about it too. Alright, word skills. And I know that y'all have been focusing on phonics a lot here recently. This is just the reading recovery thing. You have it in there too. It's a higher word test. It's just a test you can give them. There's 3 different lists, and you can use a different list each time just to see what they already know and what words you can have to work with already. Using the known, you can use words that they already know, and you can use a text that has those words in it. So if you look at the book, you've looked at it ahead of time, know that it has those words. You can look at it and check it and make sure that they know it inside of the text. You can use words that they know to build words that they can figure out by themselves. So if they know and, can they get hand? Can they get sand? Can they get things like that? You can make it more difficult by changing the onset and the rhyme. Use the word in writing. So if they're in a group with you and they're doing writing, have them try to use the word inside of the writing that they're creating. And then I have an example of a game called My Pal, Your Pal. And so let's say they've been practicing the word on. The rest of the words they know. So if me and Caitlin were playing, and Caitlin were gonna read the words, and she were gonna read the words, she's gonna read them fast as she can. So she would get that one. Get this wrong. Okay, so that would be mine. And the goal is for them to get all of the words into their pile, if that makes sense.
Right. So you only put like one word that they're not sure of?
Yeah, one word that they're not sure of, throw it in there, get them to practice it. You can even do it with just known words that they need to get down quicker. Alright, fluency. Using a familiar book. I know it'll allow lessons to do that a lot. It'll say reread this story or whatever and then go to the next one. Using familiars can help build fluency and confidence. And something that was real big was when I took class was choose the one that you think you can make sound the best. And it makes a big difference in their attitude when they're reading it too. Using push cards, there was a masking card inside your thing. It's just a little yellow card that you can use to push them. So if they're reading, we're gonna let you read it too. So if they're reading, you can push it, make them read it fast before the word disappears. Makes them speed up. Using your prompts. Did it sound good? Put all those words together so it sounds like talking. How would you say that? And then phrasing goes along with fluency. So you can take turns reading with the kid. This phrase, they read the next phrase. You read this phrase, they read the next phrase. Just to help them get some phrasing down. Writing, there is a really good video on the website that I made for you guys. And so if you have time, you can watch it later. It's the actual writing lesson that's done. Alright, this is just a writing vocabulary sheet. I'm not sure if you have one of those or not. You might.
Yes.
But this is just a formal sheet. You can do any sheet of paper just to see what they already know. And then you can do the same thing if they know and. Can they do and? Can they do things like that with the words that they know? And then you can also see, is there like a disconnect between their reading and writing? Can they read more words than they can write? Can they write more words than they can read? And then build on their strength and decide what needs to happen from there. When you're writing, make sure you have a genuine conversation. If possible, you can make it about a book that they've read or something that's happened in their life. And try to get the words that you're trying to get them to pick up in that sentence. Try to get them to extend their sentences, add that word because or and or things like that. In reading recovery, a big thing is the practice page. So they have a page to go to practice words before they put them into their story to see if they can get it right and things like that. Some strategies, you can clap words, say them slow, and then boxing the sounds and the letters. I put videos for that on that website also, so you can check them out later. And then using what they know, connect the words like we talked about, that and hand and sand.
Just to follow up with one thing that you said just a second ago, is that children in poverty are a lot of times not used to having conversations, so if they say something to you and you can follow it up with a question, that triggers them to think deeper, because normally they're used to just responding and being done, so it requires them to kind of focus in a little bit more. So it's a really, really strong technique, those natural conversations about books.
Cut up sentences, I don't know if you guys, Agnesha may have shown you how to do these. Basically, they write a short sentence. You put it on a strip and you cut it up. And they put it back together. This requires them to monitor what they're doing. Are they checking and self-correcting to make sure that the sentence makes sense to them? They just wrote it. And you would think, hey, they just wrote it, they can put it back together. But sometimes it can be hard for kids to put back together. Did they have to slow down somewhere to figure out what needed to go where? Directional issues. Did they put the sentence together backwards? You still need to look for those things. And then looking at the new word that you tried to get into that sentence again in that sentence helps too. Alright, in the text. Alright, again, familiars. Front loading the text. Using familiars helps them build confidence, fluency, and you can also remind them of what you taught them yesterday. So if you practiced reading with fluency, maybe you want to say something about it again. Or maybe they can say, I remember yesterday you told me, and they'll get it in their brain for today's lesson. Alright, front loading for a new book. You have to think about what kids don't know. So concepts like a wheelbarrow, a lot of kids don't know what a wheelbarrow is. Things like that they may not have seen in a book before. New and important words. If there's a name, like I know a familiar one is Jasper Books. So if they don't know what Jasper is, they've probably never heard Jasper. Jasper's not a common name. Maybe you want to tell them that word ahead of time. Doing a picture walk, let them make meaning before they even start reading. And as they get better, even now I have my kids do their own book introduction, their own book walk. Let them make meaning for themselves. Alright, choosing books. Make sure you're strategic about it. Make sure that there's work in there that they're going to have to do. Take into account what level they're reading on. Is it going to be too hard? And then think about what skill you want them to learn and choose your text wisely. I'm better now. I was awful about just jumping in and helping them and not making them do the work. So choose one thing that you want to talk about. You don't have to fix everything. Pick one thing because you're going to overwhelm them if you try to fix everything at one time. Pick one small thing and go after that one thing, and then after they get that, then start building something else. Decide what's the most important thing at that moment. And even if you are doing a group, not everybody has to have the same teaching point. So maybe somebody over here said something wrong, and you want to go back and correct them, but they didn't. They did something else, you can go back and correct them too. This is just a view of the website. So, I'm gonna send you the link to this and also the link to a survey that I need you to do. And then you guys can smile and say, yeah, help Miss Cole get her master's. I included a lot of videos that you can watch that can help you with the word skills, fluency, and things like that. So if you notice specific things that they need help with, all those videos will come up. Writing and index. I told you I was gonna be quick. If you have anything that you need help with, please let me know.
And that is so
Thank
awesome
you.
because when you need it next year and you don't remember, then it's like a great resource to go to. Thank you.
Absolutely.